Yeah, this whole concept of a USP, honestly, I think it is one of the most important things that you'll ever understand with your career. And if you are able to understand it, it will completely change the direction of everything you do. And you have to, and I guess people may have a question like, how do I frame my USP? How do I come up with a USP? How do I stand for something? Generally, I think for the USP, is you have to think about what do you do? Think about what do you do, and what would you do if you could do what you wanted? So what do you want? What do you want to do? What is it if anybody asked you, what are you most interested in? What do you think would make you what if you could do anything in a law firm, what would it be? I remember there was one attorney, and it's sad. He was this very hard biller in the law firm, meaning billing 3,000 hours a year, and he died from all the stress, drinking, very young, early 40s, but became a partner at a law firm in 3 years or something. It's just unprecedented. But he died actually never doing what he wanted to do. He got on this path where his value was billing all these hours for the firm, and he was making them so much money billing all these hours that the firm basically wanted to do that. But he had something he really wanted to do. He was very good at dealing with talking to clients. He was very good at bonding with clients and generating business. He was very good at coming up with ideas for how to generate business and how to bond with clients. And that's what he always wanted to do. And the law firm never let him do that. They just insisted that he continue doing what he wanted this. And even though that was his skill, he never got to do that. And so his USP to the firm was just billing hours. So that's not a good USP. That he probably died from it. But the people that are the most successful in practicing law, they have a USP, like some aspect of a practice area, some characteristic of their personality. I remember, I'll just tell you one of the USPs that I was able to get early in my career. I'd worked for this judge that was incredibly detail oriented, meaning you'd turn in a 30-page memo and he would find a typo on page 16 where you misspell the word or whatever and be visibly agitated by it. So I learned very early in my career to be incredibly detail oriented, to mark things up, to do that. And I learned how important that was a couple of years, well, a year working for this person where that's all I had to do. And I got into a law firm and I did the same thing. And people started giving me things to proofread, and partners would give me all sorts of writing assignments because they knew it would be done with a lot of detail and thought first. You can develop a USP very early in your career doing a lot of things. And it usually is smart to base it on a practice area, a certain type of client, or in your practice area, some certain type of niche. And this is what people do that become successful. It's all they do. I remember one time, one of the most successful attorneys I ever met had worked for a large law firm in Detroit, and then when he was doing that, became very successful doing bond issues for where bonds are where a municipal bond is where a city puts out these notes and agrees to pay a certain percentage interest for this. And he became an expert in putting these together. And he would do it for working class towns and cities around Michigan, meaning places that were factories or being cars and building auto parts. And I don't know, but doing it for a certain type size town in Michigan and driving around to there's hundreds of them, Rust Belt cities doing this thing. And that's all he did. And he did it at a competitive price, and the law firms and the clients loved him for it. So he didn't have to work with a law firm. He had this expertise. And I guess this is back in the 90s, but he was being driven around in a van where he's working, where it was work table and everything. So attorneys who become very successful often just have these USPs. They may do one aspect of the First Amendment law. I don't know, but it's all this sort of thing. And then they commit to it. So if you have this, then you're going to be more attractive to potential clients. You're going to be more attractive to law firms. You're going to be more attractive to all sorts of people. Patent attorneys are interesting. Patent attorneys, pretty much, if they're specialized enough, they never have a difficult time getting a job. Sometimes they'll just be a specialist in one aspect of patent law. I had patent attorneys sometimes that might be an expert in lasers being fired at optical at glass lenses or something like that specific. And then you'll be like, wow, I wonder if I've ever had any jobs for firms that needed someone that knew how to, the patent stuff involved in firing lasers at concave glass, something literally that. And sure enough, I'll find a couple firms in the US that have had openings for that. I'll send the person to that. They could be 65 years old. And within hours of that resume arriving, I'm getting calls from both those firms like, we really need to talk to this person. So this is how it works. If you have something on your resume that's very specialized or something that you do that's very specialized, something that's memorable, like you're going to be hired and people can build an entire firm or you can build an entire identity and things around this. So it's incredibly important but no one does it. Everyone just thinks they don't think through this. You have to look at yourself, think about what you're interested in, think about what you would do if you had all the freedom in the world, could do things, and then think about what you would be the best at. And I don't know how many different ways to say what I'm saying. I've probably overdone it, but this is like one of the most important things that you can possibly do in your career if you want to be successful.